Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Double D Guitar. Today we're going to talk about probably one of the easiest things you can fix on your guitar when your strap holder or your strap lock system isn't quite lining up with the hole, or if it's gotten a little wonky and it's loose. You want to fix that because the screw itself can eventually hit a bad angle and make that hole that's right here even bigger, and then you'll have a really hard time ever getting that screw in there. If you've changed out your stock ones and you've come to find out that the screw you want to use or that they've supplied with your system isn't quite right, or if you've gotten like this one has on one of my Frankenstrats here, and it's just a little bit loose. The strap lock itself, I'll show you. Since this system catches like that, this is the shallower type. It goes in there. There's a little knob that catches in that hole there. It slides in and creates a lot of pressure, then extra pressure on that screw, and eventually it actually starts to turn the holding piece there and it'll pull that screw loose. So I'm gonna nip this in the bud before it gets really bad on this thing, because I love this guitar and I really don't want to have to really fix this later. So what I'm going to do is put a dowel in there, and I'm going to coat it with some wood glue. It's one of the simplest things you could do. The dowel will expand from the glue and it'll fill that whole little area there. You can also use a couple of heavy-duty toothpicks, shove them in there, break them off, or trim them really cleanly there at the end and clean that end up. Let the glue dry, and then you'll have a nice new spot to put your strap holder or strap lock system into its proper place. So I'm going to go do that at my bench real quick. I really want to use this guitar because I really love the way it sounds and feels. So the other night at practice I realized that the strap lock was really starting to get loose. That's a piece of wood, not just a paper Q-tip. So basically I know I have that much clearance, and I can break it right there. As long as I have that much wood to work with from here to the tip, I know it's okay, but I'm not going to break it off. I'm going to show you another way to just kind of quickly and easily do it. And you need yourself some wood glue. This is some Titebond. Really easy stuff to work with, dries quickly. If you're going to do this and make it permanent, you may want to let it I mean, you could do it at any time if you're going to do this permanent mod. Like, I've committed to this type of strap lock. I have them on all my straps. It's debatable on whether or not they're any better or not, but you know, when you do this, if you do this and you're just really diligent about keeping your straps and the lock system tight, then this won't really be a problem. So it's wet on there, so I'm going to need a paper towel to kind of wipe up my work real quick. But you can see I can put it in there, and now the glue kind of makes a big mess there. And if I break it and it comes up too high, which in this case it didn't, if it comes up too high, what I recommend is using something like, once the wood dries, you can use like a flat-ended set of snips. But now I'm in there and I'm flush. I'll go grab a wet paper towel real quick and wipe that glue off. So real damp side of the paper towel, and then I just kind of turn it over so that it's not the real wet side hitting it. And just wipe it down, wipe that glue off. But if you're sticking up, you know, real far, you can get here gently, especially if you have a nice shiny finish, and trim up any of the ends there. But I managed to break it right at the point where it's going to be good. And now I could let that dry. That's going to swell up some. But like I said, if you are going to commit, you can go ahead and do this now. If you're going to want to change things, you might really want to let that dry for 20 minutes, a half hour or more even. But I know I'm pretty good. And if the hole is too big, if it's still too big for what you want, you can take a little bit more of that stick and stick it in there and break it off. Like if you have toothpicks, use a couple of them. That's a pretty big piece of wood there on that one. So, you know, it filled the hole real well. So my next step for me is going to be actually putting this screw in. Okay, and here I am. And like I said, it's swelling a little bit. You want to take, if you have like a protector, a finish protector, you want to slide that on there first. And make sure you're in there pretty well. I'm going to do this at a funny angle so that you can see, but here I am. I'm just going to pretty much drill right into that same hole. And the threading of the screw is going to just fill up into that dowel area that I've filled up the hole with. That entire area is now going to expand, and the wood glue will actually dry into the threadings of this. So doing it this way while it's still a little bit wet, you know, it's not really a bad idea because it's going to keep it really dry. Every guitar I've ever done this to, I've never had to undo this. I did this to a number of guitars like 10, 15 years ago, and they are all good to go, and I've never had any problem. So I do this to pretty much any guitar that I get where the screw hole just doesn't quite work right. So now I can get it in. I don't want to go in too hard, just tight enough. I don't want to crack any sort of finish. This I don't have to worry about. This is just paint. But yeah, go in and tighten it down, and there it is. Ready for the next couple practices and my 3 gigs coming up. Woohoo!